So at the beginning of this quarter, so way back in September, we had our class registration, and I had my program planner, of course, and I knew the courses that I needed to take, but there are several instructors for each course. And one of my courses this quarter has been Psychopathology. And part of me was like, wow, already? Here we go. And thankfully, our office manager is amazing, and she gave us some descriptions of the instructors that were offering it. And actually, it was mainly because of the schedule that it worked out that I got the instructor that I did, and both were, I'm sure, amazing. But I got to have Carol in class, and wow, talk about not even knowing what my expectations were to begin with. When it comes to psychopathology, I had some ideas, but really when we got down to it, I understood that Carol had a completely different perspective than the one that I was used to, and the one that probably most Americans are exposed to, and that is, in some ways, that the DSM is viewed as like the Bible for our profession. And so when I showed up in Carol's class, it was a little different, and we got to sit around on the floor in really comfortable little chairs, and immediately I felt relaxed and at home. And Carol, if she ever watches this, I hope she'll find this funny, reminds me of a cute little gray squirrel. And this woman is incredible. She has been like around the world and around the country doing all sorts of different things. And so she doesn't just bring, like, you know, she's got her PhD in education background and all that great stuff, but the way that she approaches life and people, and not just looking at people like there's something to be fixed, but that this process is actually meaningful for this person to go through, and how she presented that to us was transformative for me. And I've had my own personal experience with psychopathology starting from when I was in my teenage years, and had diagnoses, seen therapists and counselors and psychiatrists, and I was inpatient for a little while, and received a misdiagnosis when I was younger, which made it extraordinarily difficult for me to get insurance, and on and on and on. And so to sit in Carol's class and to be able to do the required reading outside of class, where we could read about how diagnoses are given and what that can look like in different settings, that was helpful, because I can definitely go and I can read about that. But in class, what we got to focus on were some of Carol's strengths, which are actually drawn from her experience in education with shamans. And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, that's even getting a little far out for me, and because I didn't understand. So what I got from it, and I encourage you to take a class from Carol, even just have a conversation with her, was being in a place with a medicine person, a medicine man or woman, who viewed this life as a spiritual practice, not just a series of tasks that we have to get through, that no matter what we're doing at any given point in time, that's okay. And some things maybe look more alarming and crazy than others, but we all have those moments at some point. Some just might look a little bit more outlandish than others. And I got to sit in Carol's class and not only learn about a completely different paradigm shift in viewing psychopathology and approaching people, and even being able to give diagnoses in practice, but I also got to shift that inside of myself, and didn't even realize I carried such a rigid structure about those definitions and what it meant to have a diagnosis in the first place. And the really beautiful part is that I got to experience that inside of myself, so that I know that I'll be able to hold that space for somebody else to do their work in that way too.